So Metazoo changed the booster box design after community feedback slash backlash, whatever you want to call it, over the last week and a half or two since they showed off, or since the leaks of the boxes occurred. It seemed like they were listening to the feedback. They're looking at all the feedback online, discussion boards, Discord, YouTube comments, I assume, and they changed the booster box design. And honestly, it looks way better in my opinion. I think the fact that with the first original box that they were going to go with had that Bigfoot kind of take over the online, like the online discussion and how bad the Bigfoot was. Again, I'm sure the artist worked hard and all that. I guess it just didn't, people just didn't like it. Again, I thought it looked like Johnny Bravo. Regardless of how Bigfoot looked, I was still going to buy the product and try it out. But the new box art, man, I mean, it really does highlight one of the new cryptids slash myths, whatever you want to call it, that is getting some love from the Metazoo community. Wukong, right? The box art looks sick. It looks a lot nicer. The dark colors are like spot on. They look really nice. Like the box art looks really good. Now, a couple things to note from the box. One, it's all Wukong except I think the back where Mothman is, But on the box itself, it actually has like a little like flavor text regarding the box, like Metazoo, the card game. And so on the back, again, you see Mothman kind of with his laser beams. This is the one that people were also saying like, oh, he doesn't look like Mothman. He looks too skinny. I think it's the angle because we see another Mothman in the original box design, and he looks like just a Mothman, just a little bit with the newer art style versus like the watercolor moth, right? And so I really think this is just the angle of it, or just another artist's interpretation of it. But I think the regular Mothman design that we're used to has been updated to modern artwork, and it doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty similar. And I mean, it makes sense because Mothman was basically the mascot of Metazoo. It was the number one hit of Metazoo. And I hope it continues to be a very sought after card. Again, I'm hoping, Charlie, please make an original artwork Mothman texture card. It can be like a throwback set. It can be a future set. Just make it happen, dude. I want to get that thing slabbed up. I want it to have texture. I want the OG moth art to look banging in a slab. Like, that's my number one wish. I hope they do that. They do like some sort of throwback set, or they sprinkle them in throughout the different sets where you get the original artwork in the full art, fully textured as one of the higher tier rarities. Please make it happen, Charlie. Please. But with that being out of the way, on the back of the box, you can see where it says, "What will you do when the stories are true? Cryptids are everywhere. Legends, myths, and monsters just out of sight. Some protect the world, others lurk in its shadows. As a caster, discover your rare link to these cryptids to find them. But beware, some casters use cryptids to make trouble. As you complete missions with your mapped cryptids, you'll rise to power in the world of Metazoo." Now, I don't know what to make of that. Obviously, this is kind of lore implication right here with this little blurb that we got on the back of the box. So, as a caster, you have a link with the cryptids, and that's why you can see them. What I want to know more about is complete missions with your mapped cryptids. Now, I don't know. Missions to me evokes sort of like a secret agent or agent vibe in general, like government agency that knows about cryptids and things like that. I don't know. That's exactly where they're going to go with it. But when I saw missions, I just thought of that immediately. Like, this is like you're basically like an agent, like some undercover agent that can see cryptids, or you have a link to the cryptids. So the government is using you to, I don't know, find them, get them, collect them, protect them, whatever it may be. I don't know. Again, that's just what I saw. I'm not saying this is what the lore is. But the rise to power in the world of Metazoo, again, this could just be game related, but it seems like it could be also lore implication in terms of what we can expect for the story of Metazoo. Now, over recent weeks, really in the recent week, I put up a couple of my 9.8 Metazoo comic books that I had graded. Like the original, I think it was like 4 and 5 or 3 and 4. Yeah, I sold those within a few days, or like within the week of them being listed for basically almost full asking price. I was shocked, and I mean, I'm actually happy for the guy that purchased them because they're real clean, they're dope. I just don't have the space to keep them, and I figured I want to start fresh with the new Metazoo. And if they do comic books or magazines or whatever you want to call it, I'll be interested if they ever do come out with those. But I'm excited to see what the lore is going to be for the game, because obviously you need to have some sort of good lore or some sort of good IP for them to get people invested in the world, get people invested in playing the game or purchasing the cards or to collect the cards. So I know they're doing something. They have to. They can't just have cards and say, yep, here you go. I'm sure there's going to be some lore associated with it. So I'm really curious to see if it is going to be associated to some sort of government agency. This kind of invokes SCP vibes for me personally. We know SCP was going to be a really big Metazoo set for Halloween, and then it just never happened because of obviously all the issues and the bankruptcy. But it would be very interesting if they kind of go the route of SCP, because if you guys have ever read any SCP short stories or creepypasta or whatever you want to call them, I mean, it's a giant world of like lore, and like there's secret agents, government agencies that are hunting these, random SCPs that they're, whatever, monsters, cryptids, etc. That would be an interesting way to go about it. Make like your own SCP, and that ties into your card game. And I think that's smart because, again, SCP was going to be a huge set with Metazoo. People were so excited for it. So if we get some sort of like, original SCP Metazoo world building that's like their own version of SCP, but with their cryptids and their myths and their legends, I think that's really smart. So besides that, let's kind of talk about, and again, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that's kind of cool? You think that's kind of where they're going based on that little blurb? But let's go on to the next thing, because there's a little bit more that we can talk about here. So it's been confirmed that this box art is completely separate from the Poncho alternate art box, which is great. And it makes sense because if you guys really think about it, this artwork looks to have been either made by the assets of the artist that made the Wukong card, obviously. And I mean, honestly, the box is sick. I really like it. But that means we still have yet to see the alternate art box. We should be seeing it next week, next Friday. Now, here's my thing with the alternate art boxes. I think they're cool. I think if you get a rare variant of a box, awesome, right? We'll see how people will handle like pre-orders on it, because obviously if you have an alternate art box, they're going to hold a premium over the regular boxes. So there's going to be people in stores that will hold back those boxes because who knows what those might be worth. They might be worth double MSRP just because it's rare, or double, whatever they're selling for. But so besides the stores that could potentially do that, I'm not saying they will. I'm sure there's a lot of good ones that are just going to say, oh, you got lucky, here you go. And that's if this becomes successful, okay, if Metazoo is successful and they continue on and they continue to make quality product and the community likes it and they continue to grow slowly but surely, I may actually do pre-orders at one point. And if that's the case, I will make it completely fair. I don't care. I'll get my own box. Like, I'm cool. I don't care about having to resell it for higher. But if that day happens, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, I'm holding off for a little bit, trying to kind of test the market, see how people react to this first one. I might not do it till the second one or third one, just depends. But that's besides the point. If stores do that, obviously the people will be upset. So I'm hoping that they don't. I'm hoping that they actually do, like, hey, you get a case, and in this case, you got one of the alternate art boxes. Whoever gets lucky, and they get it for the price that they pay for the pre-order. But in terms of collectability and what I hope to see for the alternate art box, there has to be some sort of incentive to open the box, because if you don't, then all the alternate art boxes are basically just collector's pieces. They're just going to be sealed, especially if the box is like, whatever, $50 more, $100 more, who knows what they're going to be, right? If the box is worth a lot more, people would just keep it sealed rather than opening it. So I'm kind of hoping that they have some sort of exclusive promo that goes along with the alternate art box, and maybe not in this release, but maybe in future releases they can do something like that, because the idea of an alternate art box is awesome. I think that's cool. However, you have to incentivize people to open the box. Otherwise, they're just never going to open the alternate art boxes, and they're all going to stay sealed and all that stuff, right? If it comes to the promo, that immediately makes me want to buy two. I would get one for the personal collection, and then one I would crack open for the promo to get the promo graded and slabbed up, because that would be the only way to get that promo. So, and then that's the other thing. People who do get lucky and they get the booster box, rather than maybe keeping it sealed or trying to sell it to, get a different box, they could make it to where, like, you know what, I don't care about the promo. The promo's worth, I don't know, $40. Like, I'm just going to sell the promo, open the box, keep the packs, and go from there, rather than selling the box and doing it. Basically, make it easy for people who get the box to want to open the box. Make it to where collectors will also want to open the box, whether it be for a promo or something else. My assumption is it would have to be like some sort of box topper, or maybe like a subset of box toppers. To make it easier, I would probably assume it would be like one box topper promo or something that's exclusive to that box, plus not including the box toppers that you can get from the regular boxes. But again, I'm hoping we see something. We see something to incentivize people to open the boxes. Something cool for people who do get the booster box and decide to open it, because that's kind of where I'm at. I love the idea of alternate art boxes, but if you remember with Native had 4, but there really wasn't anything too different about them. It was just like you get 4 variants, and so it was like their way of trying to get people to purchase 4 booster boxes so that they could make more money. It wasn't really anything, in my opinion, it wasn't anything special. Besides, the booster box designs weren't too different. I think they changed some of like the runes around the boxes and all that stuff. It was honestly, quite honestly, it was like a cash grab at that point, because they knew like Native was probably going to be their last set if it didn't sell well. So I'm not saying that's what Metazoo's doing. I think if they do something like you get one of these alternate boxes per case or per 2 cases, I think that's fine. Maybe it's something like every, 2 boxes in the case you get, 2 boxes out of the 12 in the case you get them, or whatever. I'm rambling at this point, and I apologize. But regardless, I'm hoping that we see something cool regarding these alternate art boxes that we haven't seen yet. I'm hoping that future boxes, if they don't include something to make you want to open it, that they do include something that'll make you want to open it. Maybe exclusive. I mean, I feel like it would be too much to do like exclusive art packs for those boxes. But I think a promo would be good. I mean, if we look at Journey Together with Pokemon, I think they just introduced exclusive promos if you buy it through their Pokemon Center. If you get the booster boxes from the Pokemon Center. So something like that, I think, is a good idea to make people want to open the collector's boxes, right? The alternate art boxes. But we'll see. And then granted, we still don't even know like what the percentage of alternate art boxes is to the regular boxes. For all we know, it could be something like 6 booster boxes out of the case are alternate. The other 6 are regular. At that point, they're not that rare, and it wouldn't matter if you opened it. But if it is something more like, hey, 2 boxes out of the case, because a case is 12, by the way. There's 12 booster boxes in a case of Metazoo. So let's say 2 of those boxes of the 12 are the alternate art boxes, then yes, they will fetch a pretty hefty premium probably. So I'm just hoping we see something. I keep repeating myself. I just want to see something cool. Show us something cool. And if you guys didn't do it for this box, do it for the next alternate art box. Make people want to open the alternate art boxes, because I'm just going to keep mine sealed if I get one. So, but I'm rambling. And so I guess what I want to end this video with is, one, I'm glad that they're listening to the community feedback. It bodes well for their future, as long as they're willing to take constructive criticism, like it looks like they were. I mean, they even made a whole post about it, and they were talking about like, hey, we welcome feedback and criticism so that we can make the product better. As long as they continue to do that, I think they'll be fine. Even people who maybe they don't like the card, even like the people who don't like the card layout or the card borders, whatever you want, I still think if you show enough goodwill to the community, they will eventually still want to try it, just to say like, okay, this isn't too bad, or just to see it for themselves. And so shout out to them for actually listening to the community. I'm hoping we see more of that prior to their next set. Obviously, this first set, it feels rushed because it really was. I'm not saying the artwork or like the set was, but the production of the set was pretty rushed, because they're just trying to get it into the hands of people to show them like, hey, this is legit. It's completely different than the first Metazoo. It should be higher quality. You should find better hollows and all that stuff. And so, again, this first set only has booster boxes from what I've been seeing. Unless I'm wrong, please mention it down below, because I'd love to get blisters as well. But right now, it's just booster boxes. Maybe their second set will have booster boxes and blisters, or like maybe they're working on like their own version of the ETB, or like their own version of the spell books, right? But this first one feels rushed because really they're trying to just get the product out in hands. They're trying to get the game out there to show people like we're legit, we're working on it, we're a real company. We're not the old Metazoo with their original Metazoo game and all that. So again, I'm going to give them grace for this first one and see how the next sets look. You know, see how what the product lineup for the next set looks like. And I'm hoping we get a lot more information next week, March 7th. I'm really looking forward to it, but that's all I got for you guys. Let me know what y'all think down below, and I will continue with the Metazoo updates as they come. Appreciate you.